Hey guys, my name is Dean. Welcome back to Sydney Hills Gymnastics Online. This week we have Tori helping us out because Becca's away on placement, and today's video is our intermediate handstand video. This week's video is going to focus on how to fully get into your handstand position against the wall, and we've also got some safety for you guys so that you can start transitioning away from the wall as well. So in today's video or workout, there's actually quite a lot of time spent on your hands. So if your wrists do get sore, you can split the different sections up so you can train it throughout different days of the week.
So before we get started, we're just going to do a warm-up routine to follow along. So find a space, let's go.
Okay guys, starting in angry cat position. So on our knees, hands on the floor, and you're pushing your back towards the roof. Nice hollow back position, chin to your chest, and using your arms to push away from the floor. Now the opposite, happy cat position, belly out, looking up. And in this position, we're going to do wrist raises. So make sure you're pushing out of your fingers, not your hands. You're going to push. Keep some weight on your knees. You don't want to lift your whole body just like this. If you want to make it a little bit harder though, you can pop up on your feet. Let's go 2 more. And we're going to circle our shoulders 5 each way. Trying to get your shoulders over your fingers for a good stretch. And other way. And last one. Sliding your hands forwards to lazy cat position. Trying to get your armpits to the floor. Looking at your hands, we're going to push up onto our fingers as well. Warming up our fingers for handstands. And back down, we're going to push up on our feet. Downward dog position, trying to get your heels to the floor. And in this position, we're going to do 10 shrugs. So pushing the floor away, trying to hide your ears between your shoulders, 10 times. 5, 7, and 10. Still in this position, we're going to do 5 kicks each leg. So first, you're going to bring your knee up to your nose, and then you're going to kick your leg back up in the air. Try not to twist your hips, starting gently. 3, and 5. Other leg as well. 4, last one. 5, and walking your hands forward all the way to front support position, and then walking your hands back into a standing pike. And we're going to do forward and back 3 times. So out, walking back in, out to your shoulders are over your hands. Last one. We're going to stay out for this one. Lower yourself onto your belly, arms out in front. And here, looking at your hands, we're going to lift our arms up for 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to do the handstand position we practiced in the first video. So hollow back, looking at your hands, holding for 5, 3, 2, 1. Rolling over, last thing, 10 dish rocks. Arms by your side or arms by your head, however version you can do. 5 left. And let's get into it. Okay guys, our first handstand skill against the wall. We're going to start in front support position. And from here, you're going to walk your feet up the wall and walk your hands in to however you feel comfortable. Hold at the top for 3 seconds and then walking your hands back out. Now, when you're doing this one, we're going to do this 3 times. Each time I want you to try to get a little bit close to the wall. And the end goal should be that your body's vertical, but you're not actually leaning against the wall with your body. It's just your feet on the wall and you're pushing tall and walking back out. Now, Tori's going to demonstrate a bad one. If you feel like when you're walking up that you're a little bit loose and you're dropping your core here, so you're dropping your hips, I want you to practice the decline handstand we did last week. So we're going to hold that for 20 seconds now and holding that 3 times as well. If you feel like you don't have the strength to walk your hands in, we're going to do a tuck handstand against the wall. And in this position, you can do shoulder touches or just little steps. So we're going to do 3 sets of 10 for this one as well. So guys, next exercise we're going to do are some inverted shrugs. You guys can choose whichever position you feel comfortable with working these. If you feel like you're not strong enough to do them against the wall, you can go back onto the couch or the bed, which you did your tuck handstands on in the last video. But Tori's going to demonstrate against the wall here. So into whichever handstand position, you can do full handstand, tuck handstand. Here, you're going to do 3 lots of 10 shrugs. And when you are shrugging, the focus is the top bit of the shrug. So you don't want to go too low and only push to halfway. You want to go from halfway to pushing fully away from the floor. Now, if you can even hold at the top for like 1 second each rep. Now, when we actually are holding our handstands later, you want to be holding your entire handstand at this full shrug, pushing away from the floor. Okay guys, last exercise against the wall is going to be our full handstand hold against the wall. If you feel like your wrists are getting a little bit sore at this stage, make sure you're resting between your sets, or even you can do them on separate days because there's quite a lot of work on your hands. So for this one, you're going to go as close to vertical as you can against the wall. We're going to aim to like increase how long we can hold our handstand upside down. So we're aiming for 20 to 30 seconds now. And the goal is to hold the correct position for as long as you can, not just holding whatever you can against the wall for 30 seconds. So things you're thinking about are pushing fully away from the floor, looking at your hands, having that hollow back we talked about in the last video, and making sure the only thing touching the wall is your feet. So now that you guys know how to fully do your handstand against the wall, it can be a little bit tempting to start trying on the floor, but especially because you're not in the gym environment right now, our focus should be safety. So we're firstly going to go through some ways that you can bail out of your handstand or fall safely without hurting yourself. Just like how when you're learning to drive a car, the first thing you should learn is how to brake. So our first and probably most obvious way to come out of our handstand is just to step down if you don't go over. So Tori's going to demonstrate. Once you're coming down of your handstand, stepping 1 foot at a time. Some tips for this one is that you make sure you put your foot close to your hands. The further you step away, the more hard your landing is going to be. And also make sure you're pushing away for as long as you can the entire time. Some drills that you guys can do to practice this or make it a little bit easier is you can do your kick to half handstand on a step like we did before. So when you kick to handstand and step down, because you have a little extra height, you have a little bit more time to get your feet down. Make sure that the foot that you're stepping down on is the same foot that you push when you're kicking to handstand. So you're not scissoring your feet in the air because that can make you twist a little bit when you're coming out of your handstand. Another way to do this is you kick to handstand, touch your feet together, then bring the same foot back down. That's going to be more like your handstand later. So you can show one more, Tori. So touching feet together, stepping down, same foot. So we've now got some ways that you can bail out of your handstand if you're going over. The first one we're going to show is a kick to handstand forward roll. So for this one, you need to make sure you're tucking your head in, you're pushing away from the floor until you're leaning, and then you're using your arms to slowly lower your shoulders onto the floor. But for you guys outside of the gym, it's not an ideal way to be falling out of handstand, so we're going to focus on how to practice different ways to fall out of your handstand later. So another way to fall out of your handstand going over is landing in bridge position. For some people that are flexible might prefer this landing, but you need to make sure that you keep your arms straight to keep your head away from the floor. And I don't really recommend this one because it's not ideal on harder surfaces, and for some people it can condition them to kick to handstand already in an arch position expecting to fall. So the next way we're going to come out of our handstands, or the way that we're going to focus on for today, is to pivot step down. So if you're going over, you're going to take a big step with your hand and then step down the same way you would come out of a cartwheel. Okay, so we've got some drills for you guys to practice this bail out of handstand. If you can't cartwheel, the first skill you're going to do is a bunny hop to the side. So you're going to turn your hand sideways first, and you're going to bunny hop, finish facing the opposite direction. Okay, the next one you're going to do is starting in the bunny hop squat position again. This time you bunny hop to tuck handstand, then once you're already there, then you take a step and finish facing the other side. For this one, it's going to be a bit easier if you actually push your hips over a little bit harder than if you under push for this one. Last thing you're going to do is up against the wall, walk into that full handstand like we did before. And from here, you're going to use your feet to push off of the wall and then turn your hand just like you did for that tuck handstand. Okay, let's try one more time. For this one, you can make it a little bit easier at first by starting with the hand that you're not going to step with, turning that out, and then pushing off your feet and stepping with your hand. So for all these drills, it's important for you guys to practice them until you feel confident enough that as soon as you start to tilt or fall out of your handstand, it's instinctive for you to just fall out safely. So that's the end of our intermediate handstand video, guys. We've got more handstands to come, so our advanced video coming up will teach us to learn how to hold our handstand without the wall. Make sure that when you are practicing these skills at home, guys, you're being safe, and feel free to let us know how you're going.
Happy handstanding. Keep fit. Make friends.
Have fun.